and act like I actually know stuff.
Okay. Good. It's standing up straight. That's good.
What do you want to do?
He printed that bracket.
Really?
Those white brackets, yeah.
Cool.
I printed me a little laser gun too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure which one I like better. Cool.
Oh, more folks.
Hi,
Hello,
Hi.
come
this is
in.
the automation group.
That's us.
All right.
That's what we claim to be.
I left my briefcase at home, have no forms, got nothing today. And there we go. We'll have to sign you up next week.
If you want to show something,
You guys
Go
get
up
together
to
once a week.
my
Yes.
That's what it is?
YouTube,
Every
Channel.
Thursday.
Okay.
and it'll show you my Fuji, my
And how late
CNC machine.
are
that
you
I built.
typically here?
We're normally here till 7.
I built a CNC machine.
That's normally when they start running us off.
Okay.
We try to be out
And I
promptly.
did my first
Yep.
Hello World on it. I don't have my spindle on it yet, but
If you give me an
I'm
email,
Toying
I'll
with the idea of
get you on the
building
distribution
a,
list, and you'll have access to these
laser
projects.
cutter.
That's a project.
they put lasers
When
on this.
that's
Yeah.
off of our
There's a form
website.
up there.
If you go to the meeting announcement on the web page, you can have links to this and Leroy's corner and Jim's corner and all that stuff.
What's up? You want to introduce everybody again, or
Yeah, might as well.
what do you
Let's start with
what do you want to
guys.
do?
Look at you guys. I'm Terry Gregory. Yep. I have a tremor, essential tremor, so sometimes if I seem nervous, I might be a little bit, but I have a voice and head tremor. I work in software development, database, Oracle, application programming for many, many years. University of Michigan graduate. Go blue. But I have 4 kids that have gone to Ohio State, so
There you
kind of blended. I have a Raspberry Pi, which I got like a year ago, played with it a little while, and then I didn't do anything with it. So, general curiosity. I have time, I have money, and I want to play with things. So.
Great.
Good combination.
Yeah, it is a good combination.
Came to the right place.
And you?
My name's Brian Starr. I'm a software developer by trade. I'm a consultant. I've been for about 20 years, and
Software developer C? What kind?
I do a little bit of everything. I do a lot of .NET, C# kind of stuff. I do a lot of iOS, iPad, Android, a little bit of everything from that respect. Java, I spent 3 years as a mentor on my son's first robotics team. The last 3 years, and he's since graduated. And I saw your thing on the meetup about Arduino, and I have been looking at the NetDuino for .NET for a long time. I've just never pulled the trigger on buying one, and so I thought, I saw these guys, and I'm like, I'm gonna go see what this is really all about. I've always wanted to get into it more, and thought I'd see what it's like.
Okay, good. I'm Jim McCreary. I'm the club president.
They
Come
have
in.
wires on the desk.
That's us. Come in.
There's
I'm the.
automation technology.
That's us.
Okay.
That's us. Welcome. I don't have my paperwork this week. I've been out of town for 2 weeks and I'm disorganized. I'm Jim McCreary. On the website, you'll see me refer to myself as the Grand Poobah. And we started this about 6-7 years ago, the Automation Technology Club, and it was really a general automation technology stuff. We did PID, we did op amps, we did NE555, we did drives, we did PID control, And then we got into Arduino a couple of years ago, and started attracting other people. And this is Project Monster at the head of the table. You'll see me refer to him on the website a lot. He does a lot of our project work and documents well, which he's not showing at the moment. But we have a lot of the online documentation about the Raspberry Pi and the BeagleBone Black and systems that you guys might be interested in. So the website is pretty nice. You'll see the meeting announcements. You can keep track of it there. You can also see meetup.com, which I suspect you three guys are probably meetup.com guys. And so we've been going through, we just organized all our projects into one folder. So now you have, if you look at the meeting announcements, you can go and look at all the projects directly. You'll see a list. That's pretty handy. And I'll let this guy introduce himself.
Oh, I'm next.
Project Monster.
I'm Leroy. Basically, I like building things and the electronics parts of it, and I can program fairly well. And I've got
a lot of our Unix stuff.
Yeah, I've got just about. Wow, I won't say I've got them all, but I've got a lot of different types of processors. I've got a Galileo board. I've got the couple of new TI boards that have come out. A bunch of different Arduinos.
BeagleBone, Raspberry Pi.
BeagleBone, the Raspberry Pi. I'm working on building, converting an old Hero Junior robot to run off of the BeagleBone.
Anybody know what he's talking about?
BeagleBones.
BeagleBone Black. Relatively black.
BeagleBone Black. It's a Linux-based little computer about the same size as a Raspberry Pi. It's got 50-ish I/O ports on it, and I'm in the process of putting one in an old Hero robot from the 80s that stopped working, and I want to rebuild it and revive it. And like Jim said, I do a lot of somebody says they want to see something done, I've got the time to usually sit down and do it and see if I can get it to work. And if not, that's why I like coming here, because somebody else can figure out what I don't know.
He's motivated to do projects, and we're motivated to watch it. And if you go look into projects folder, there's tons of stuff. He's done tons of stuff.
And there's a lot I still want to do too. So
I'm Mark Corey. I'm the sporadic member. I come infrequently lately. We've just had a lot going on with some deaths in the family and stuff lately that I just haven't had the time to get here. But I'm a chemical engineer, retired chemical engineer by training, and the whole electronic side is an area that I decided I want to explore. It gives me something to keep motivated. And when we're done introducing, he's got a video I want to show of the project I've been working on using Arduino, and it's a CNC machine. So I did my first Hello World with it, so I got it operational. I need to install the spindle so I can start cutting stuff, but I'm close.
I'm Brian Foley, and I'm a college student currently at Miami University, and I like electronics too. I guess a project I'm currently working on right now is self-present children.
He's brought in some amazing stuff that he's put together that had an Arduino with, as best I could guess, multiple Arduinos mounted on one board, had a USB port, had a keyboard, booted Unix somehow, and he could play games on it.
it was a language he created all himself. It wasn't Unix.
He did his own interpreter.
He made his own interpreter.
So it brings in some amazing stuff. You'd be surprised.
What are you studying in school?
Computer engineering.
Okay, and you're?
I'm Jeremy Yap, and I just started. Well, currently I'm a software developer at a company called Tech, and I do a lot of the internal web development and mobile development and things like that. It's a company we sell and engineer hydraulic systems, pneumatic systems, and generally things that move. And I started slowly getting into hobbyist electronics. I do a lot of gaming and especially Sims. So I think one of the first things I ended up doing as a result of that is head tracking rigs for flight sims, because I didn't want to pay $100 for one, so I ended up making my own. And then I kind of ended up having a soldering kit and whatnot. I was like, okay, so I started, fixing my keyboards, fixing my phones and stuff. And I've just kind of slowly been getting more into things like 3D printing and whatnot. So I guess it's sort of I kind of wandered in that way.
You have a 3D printer?
Not current, not
Automation technology button? Going in.
Run out of space.
Yeah, we are.
What the heck have we done?
Well, I don't have my own one currently.
Well, this that white bracket there is 3D printed stuff. Those brackets on this PC there, PC/camera,
My little ray gun.
and his ray gun.
I thought that looked like it was printed on 3D.
Yeah.
The white brackets are. You kind of see the lines in it as it's kind of layering.
He's got a copy of the Enterprise, of course. Throw it in, you know how that goes.
Very cool.
This guy here, Frank. Introduce yourself.
Frank Hill, old started off.
You can put a 3D printer head in it if you want to, but $2,000 is more than I wanted to spend, and I kind of wanted to learn my way into it. So it's been a nice exercise. So that's what I've been spending my Arduino time on. I did get a Raspberry Pi board, but I'm not overly impressed with it, so I haven't played with it that much.
Leroy convinced us to get BeagleBone.
I'm sorry?
I said Leroy convinced us to get BeagleBone.
Oh, okay.
BeagleBone Black.
So it has some of the similar behaviors?
It's a BeagleBone Black is 1 gigahertz, 512 megs of RAM. It's 4 gigs with Debian Linux already on board, so you don't need the SD card. It's got an SD slot. It's got something like 50-ish I/O ports on it. It's a very nice board. It's fast.
Okay. I'll have to look at it.
There's the shape. Maybe. Look, they've got prices starting at $300 for the
Yeah,
shape
I
of.
think that's just the mechanical parts. But it's a well done kit. I mean, all the parts are well labeled.
Yeah.
I also think you can. I think they now have an option where you can buy it all put together. But I think that takes some of the learning out of it. So it's lucky not to do it that way. And then they've got all kinds of different kinds of upgrades that you can add. Some of their stuff is pricier than other places you'll find, but they have it. That's the thing that's nice about it. They have it and you can get it. For instance, I've been looking all over the place for 4-conductor shielded wire at a reasonable price, and I couldn't find it any better than $1 a foot that they sell it on this website. So I ended up buying it from them. The other thing I learned too is a lot of the construction, I mean, you can follow what they recommend, but some of it didn't make sense to me, and I changed a lot of it. So
How long did it take you to assemble the kit? As far
when
as
I really got
just
serious,
the hardware?
when I really got serious about it, it was less than a week. Most of my time was spent, when I ran into a question or problem that I didn't understand, and I'd spend time going on websites, looking it up. And probably the things I spent the most time looking up was how to get the microcontroller set up. Well, really, how to run the wiring, setting up the microcontroller, and then understanding how to run the software. And once I got beyond that, now the thing that caused me, now you guys need to understand, I'm a Macintosh user, so PCs are like something I don't like. I ended up buying a PC so I could run this thing.
No.
Sacrilege.
And I was really unhappy about it. And when I sit there and it's a Dell, I got Windows. I bought it with Windows 7 on it, and because
Well,
what I could read, it was the best thing to start with.
You did yourself a favor there.
Yes.
But I got to tell you, compared to my Macintosh, it's slower than molasses. Kind of aggravating. And I think it's partly because I just don't understand how to get around in Windows that well. It's coming.
And why couldn't you use your Mac?
It turns out that a lot of the CAD, you can find CAD programs. Finding CAM programs, which is the thing that translates your design into G code, is pretty hard to find. And the stuff that I could find was heavily open source and a lot of questions around, you got to do this and that to the inside of your computer, and I didn't want to mess with it. So I figured, and then when it finally came, I was hoping to do was use my old Snow Leopard Macintosh portable, and the problem is, it turns out that one, a lot of the stuff has moved forward beyond Snow Leopard, and I couldn't load it up. And I didn't want to use my brand new MacBook Pro in the shop, so I decided $300. I mean, the other option was to buy Parallels on the Macintosh, but I figured out by the time I bought the software and Parallels, I'd have close to $250 into it, and I got my Dell portable for like $320. So I figured I couldn't go wrong. And this way I got one I can use in the shop, and if it breaks, I don't care. So I am learning, that's the other thing that's slowing me down a little bit, is I'm learning how to get in and out of Windows environment and run the software and that kind of stuff. That's it.
Welcome aboard.
That's it.
Yep.
Good progress.
My project is actually something that we had talked about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it took that long for this device to show up from China. And, oh look, the blue light's on. How did that happen? Off. Thank you.
Apparently, you have to say thank you after you say it.
Then you have to say off, please.
Off, please. It's a voice recognition module, though, and it works fairly well.
Off. Off. Please.
Thank you.
It learns. It's keyed to a single voice, which is a drawback.
No, it's good.
It's you can put 15 words in it, 3 banks of 5 words each, and it's real. It's actually a real simple device. It samples. You do a voice sample 3 or 4 times, and then you go and you hook it up to the Arduino, and when it recognizes a word, it sends a number, a numerical value to the Arduino, and the Arduino, from there, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you could say anything and have the Arduino do something with that numerical value. So
It's got 15 words.
there's 15 words total.
So it's listening to what you say and sending a character to the Arduino, and the Arduino's handling the I/O.
How long does it take to recognize one word?
When I first set this up, I had to speak. It had to be very, very quiet, and I had to speak each word 3 times.
It's not bad, actually.
Yeah,
If it, that's all you have to do.
yeah. it wasn't bad, but what I have found in a larger space, it doesn't work so well. And if there's any noise, it doesn't work so well because the blue light shouldn't have come on until I said blue. But off, red, off, green, off, off, all, off, blue, off. That's pretty much.
Do you have
So
to
it's-
go through the off cycle, or can you go red, blue, green?
No, I could go red, blue, green.
But it keeps the red on.
It keeps the red on.
Small.
Oh, yeah.
I'm using a RGB LED, so you can't see. If I was using 3 different LEDs,
Right. So he didn't tell it to turn it off, but turn the next color on.
Yeah. And I did not program it. I could have programmed it to turn off individual colors, but that wasn't really part of the demo. The part of the demo was just to turn stuff on.
If you turn down the threshold, you see the sound threshold, does it, I mean, would that help with the noise, like something like this?
They said that the microphone makes a big difference.
So the kind of microphone.
The kind of microphone.
makes sense.
And apparently it's not a great microphone. It works.
That microphone come with it.
That one came with it. I'm going to unplug it. I bought it. It was $23. But I'll tell you, it took forever for it to get here. I buy a lot of stuff from China,
What's
and this one took forever to get here.
what's the number on it there?
Number.
I mean, if you
I've got a link to it in the description.
that might be good in the computer camp.
You just need one other thing to program it. It's a little FTDI board, and all it hooks up to is the RX and the TX. The software that they recommend using, which is why I'm using Windows right now, is a Windows.
Is that something you buy separately or can you look at?
This I had to buy separate, but you can get these dirt cheap. These are a couple bucks.
What's its purpose?
That's one of the FTDI boards. It's USB to serial.
The ports on these things are normally serial, so you've got to use some sort of adapter to get you from USB to serial.
So I thought, let's go back. Let me start my screencast again. 3, 2, 1, go.
So you have that connected directly to your PC, right? I can't see it.
What the
The
Arduino?
Oh no, voice recognition board. It goes into an Arduino.
It goes into the Arduino. And I only was using the USB for power. The Arduino's controlling everything. So
Once you're on the program.
I thought though, what would be interesting would be to actually hook this up and we could reprogram it to do other things. That might actually be a better demo than just somebody saying red.
That was pretty good. That's amazing. It's got its own micro.
Yeah, it's the microcontroller itself. I mean, it's got its own little
Yep.
controller board on there.
Own software. Just sends out characters.
But you can make that one command do just about anything, right? Not just turn on a light.
Sure.
Right.
OpenPod does have.
And how many? What's its vocabulary? How many words?
Up to 15.
15. Okay.
Single words. It's kind of picky about that. So you couldn't say read on or read off. It would only pick up read.
And you set it up to for off to turn all of the lights off.
Yeah, it's just software programming. It's not
Yeah.
Choices.
logic. If then else.
I think it might be. I guess that would be very reliable. You think you could reliably use multiple words in sequence to trigger something, or is that going to be really iffy?
I think it would depend on the environment that you're in. Like I say, it's real picky about noise
I think
levels.
Arduino would have to do that. So
Yeah.
we
We're
all have to look.
this is really at the low end.
Yeah,
end
this
of the range.
$23 for a voice recognition unit is cheap, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
Get what you pay for.
It's it is what it is, I guess.
And that's one of the good thing about here. You can see a demonstration, very simple, rudimentary, cheap. And if you're interested in it, you get a taste. This is what you can do for nearly nothing. And if you want to do a higher end job, you could buy a better processor and go upscale.
Oh, I've seen these boards like $60 and $70 or more.
So what do you get for $70?
Much better voice recognition.
Can it recognize multiple words
Yeah.
at a time?
Yeah.
Is it faster?
I don't know if it's faster, but I know it's much more reliable.
Because if you say red or you say blue, it take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So if you were just talking, red, blue, green, with the higher boards,
Like I said, I don't know if it's faster or not.
I'm sure they have, whatever you want, however much money you got, you can get whatever you want.
You got right here. It talks about this device is running at 9600 baud, and its format for sending commands is in hex. And you've got to send it a couple of hex commands to start with, so that you can reprogram it. So I thought that would be fun to do. So it's a little program called Access Port, which is basically just a serial program that is able to send hex commands. So you type in, oh, it says it's closed. Why is it closed? Open port first. Okay.
Start running.
I have a feeling my serial port changed.
I've learned not to use a USB multi-port on your Arduinos. Well, I use it all the time. It shot me down for about 3 weeks. And they make a change, send it out there, and it would confirm that it was sent. Yeah. And I'd run the program, and it's like nothing. So I was thinking it was my code. Until finally I just changed a delay. And it didn't take. It's because I was too lazy to reach around. I was using the expander and just plugging it in there. And it was recognizing it and confirming, but not actually going in there. Could be the one you've got, because I use one at home and I put like 2 Arduinos in at the same time and talk
On
back
port
and forth.
15.
And then,
On port 15.
building a transmitter
What's
and receiver thing.
Is your port powered?
Mine is just USB.
That's on there's, you can buy a USB 4-port expansion with or without power.
Yeah.
While he's tinkering with that, I put together, didn't put together, I just wired this thing up.
Recognize it doesn't
This is a $15 4-channel receiver here with a fob, key fob. It's $15, and this thing comes with a cover. It looks like an old phone jack. The cover does. You push a little button on it, and you select push one of the buttons here, and it learns what kind of fob you've got. And there are a certain variety of fobs that you have to use with it. You push the button, push one of the buttons on the fob, it learns which fob you've got, and that's it. Let's see.
I was hoping you had one of those where that connected to the Arduino.
No, but you can connect this to the Arduino. That's what you normally do if you want a remote.
I'm thinking about, actually they have them, and I thought you probably had one since you got everything.
Yeah, no. He's got everything.
I don't know if I've got
Small
everything.
subset of what he has. But it's simple. It has 4 normally open, normally closed contacts for each of the 4 inputs. It's I think it's rated for like 150 feet. And here's you push the A button, and the A relay closes, and the light comes on.
Is this in theory?
In real, no, it's really coming on. Unlike some people's blue lights that may or may not come on.
Oh, I see it. I see the
Yeah,
light.
These are, probably 24-volt lamps. It's got the built-in resistor, so they're not particularly bright. Got a little delay, not much. Yeah.
Sounds like an X10.
And you can see that actually the receiver is a little plug-in module here. So it actually plugs in to the main board.
So the IR receiver and the relays are all on board?
It's not infrared, it's RF.
Oh, it's RF.
Yeah, I think it's like 350.
How much current can it source? You're turning on a lamp.
It's a relay.
Oh, it's got a relay.
Yeah, these are 4 relays.
That's a big one.
Looks like it says 20A. That may be a 2.0A. It's probably 2.0A. So it's
So I
Yes.
want to use one of those with my Internet of Things. That's what I'm interested in. So you need something to transmit, and you need some receivers.
you good?
I'm good.
Okay.
We gotta be quiet.
That's impossible. Who are you talking to here?
It's.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know what I'm trying to say. So, I'm sending 2 hex commands. The first command's telling it to go into common mode, and the second command's telling it to record into the first bank of words. I've got to record 5 words. So
Okay,
I've got
no
to say.
squeaky chairs.
So I've got to say, or somebody's got to say some words. Anybody want to try it?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. Well, okay. I had it right the first time. I knew I had it right the first time. I think I had it right. Start. Start. It's not doing it. What's going on? It should show me the progress up on the screen.
You got it in monitor mode?
Yeah. It's like it's sending garbage though.
Yeah, reset everything. Do the Microsoft thing.
Yeah.
IPL.
It's worked for thousands of years. Turn it off, turn it back on.
No, Microsoft invented that, I thought.
Control Alt Delete.
Pretty good as garbage collection.
command mode, he says.
Common mode,
Common mode.
which is the AA36 is common mode. But I don't know why it's not wanting to record new things.
Okay. Why don't you show them our new folder, our quote unquote new club folder with all your junk in it. No, I mean projects.
Connection failure. All the projects.
That would recognize sounds though too, wouldn't it? You could clap, belch, whatever.
Yeah, it's just recording. It's doing a sound sample, and it has to be. That's what I was going to try to show was if you say the wrong word, like if I said red and then I turned around and said green while it was trying to do the sample, it would tell you that the two samples didn't match, and you would have to start over again. So, if you were belching,
Better belch the same.
it would have to be the same every time, because that's how it's matching it. So,
Club folder.
I don't really have a
There it is.
so.
Okay, and then they're sorted by date. So go to the bottom, or you could. The title is by date.
The title's by date.
So scroll all the way to the bottom. There's Leroy's corner down there.
That's not really the website.
That's not the. Okay.
That's not really the website you want.
Okay. Show us the folder.
I have.
You don't have a link to the website.
I don't have a link to the website. I do on the Linux partition, but I'm in Windows.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you can go get your email and pull it out of there. You can see the.
Hopefully
invitation.
nothing bad's in. No. Anyway, this website that I'm about ready to try to find, I've got a link to my Google Plus account. So if anybody wanted to add me to Google Plus and talk to me like that, that's fine. But I don't see. Did you send that? You sent that to my AOL box, didn't you?
Is that where you normally get it?
Yeah.
You can log your card.
The mailing it to his address is what he's asking about. I didn't know I was doing that, but I do all kinds of things.
I've got a link to it
I
somewhere.
didn't know anybody still used it.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
I didn't know it was even still around.
I actually have an AOL account that I use once or twice a year.
I was using AOL before I switched to Google years and years and years ago. And
It used to be the thing.
Well, I
Yeah.
think everybody had it at the beginning.
Free Facebook, free MySpace.
I know I do.
It's still there, guys.
Same way.
This is never terrified to lose it.
The one that my wife is still using Hotmail.
So
Wow.
Doo-doo.
So it was yesterday, probably about 6 or so, maybe earlier.
One of my sons, I sent him somebody's resume, and he's a college student. She had a Yahoo email address, and out in the Silicon Valley area, it's just not them.
There it is.
Yeah. Use the Gmail address.
Oh yeah, the address is on the card. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
We're a little.
We're a little slow. It's all right.
It's a lot of typing though. I can make that. Oh, there you go. Projects.
There it is. See, I got there without the card.
Change it to the list mode. That's there. You know.
Pass that back over there.
The 4 dots on the right.
Yep.
Grid view, is that it? Or is it the other
Oh, I'm on grid view.
one? Okay.
I want list.
Okay. And go to the bottom.
So how do we get this?
On the invitation to the meeting, you just go in the links there now. When you look at your invitation, or go to the website, and it'll.
Jim has been very busy updating the website.
There's this G-Tech voice recognition module down there. And there's the 4-channel 315 megahertz RF wireless. Click on that one to show them what my junk looks like. I don't do a lot of stuff. I'm not the heavy dude in this program.
Ah.
And does it say how many amps that is? Does it scroll down?
Like smaller kind of
Yeah. Relay.
relay.
It's a relay.
Yeah,
light.
you're 440 or what are you doing?
I don't see anything that says anything about amps. I'm almost done.
And there's the cover for it.
What's the learning button for? If there's
It learns your fob. There are
Oh, okay,
multiple
it
fobs
doesn't
that it supports. Okay, I don't know how many amps it is. We'll have to look that up. It looks
24,
like-
Right,
24 amp.
It's 2 or 20.
it's probably printed right on the relay.
It is.
2.
Jim's eyes are not that good. It's
Yeah.
either the period.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know if there's a period there. If not, it's a 20 amp relay. I'm not so sure I believe that. Yeah.
Being miniature like that.
It's
I
probably
believe that.
2.
It looks like it says 20 and 10. Yeah, that seems a bit.
Control plus. Should zoom.
Yeah, I could probably see that if I had a longer arm.
Yeah.
That seems a bit much for those small relays.
And it expanded it. Control plus
How many
again.
times can you switch?
Sure
20
does.
amps.
Sure does look like 20 amps.
Yeah. It's a lot. At 120 volts. You see.
10 amps at 120 volts.
Okay, so this
20 amps at 14 volts. DC.
I wouldn't try any inductive load with that. As you guys know, contacts don't like inductive loads. Motor starters, fluorescent lamps. Incandescents are horrible, by the way. The resistance of a incandescent lamp cold is very low and will blow up most relays. You need special relays for incandescent lamps. Yes.
That's the biggest I can make it. Yep. It looks like 20 amps at 14 volts DC and 10 amps at 120 volts AC.
When you're in high school, I did a demonstration on Ohm's law. Take my lamp bulb here, measure the resistance. Okay. Calculate the current at 120 volts. It was like 5,000 watts for that light bulb. We're like, what? It's a 100-watt light bulb. And the first thing I learned was, guess what? The resistance of the filament changes as it gets hot. Significantly. I didn't notice that, but the resistance changed.
One leads to the other.
So here we go. BeagleBone Black Wi-Fi setup. The Raspberry Pi stuff is in there. Using Raspberry Pi with a console cable.
Do you have your 3D printer stuff?
Another
Probably.
thing you could learn, if you're using Chrome, you could do a Control F. Maybe it would work here. I don't know. Do you guys know about that? Control F is fine, and it works in Chrome.
Good Microsoft stuff.
Oh, it really? No, it's kidding.
I probably don't have my 3D printer. I've got my robotic lawnmower.
Oh, you said I never saw that.
I've got a bunch of videos of it actually working on my YouTube page.
Is that the pattern that it was cutting?
That's the pattern that it was cutting, yeah.
It's a little random.
It's
Exactly.
very random. Look, there's a big circle right down here. It's making crop circles.
Yeah, there you go.
But
So that's where those come from.
it works a whole lot like those Roomba vacuum cleaners. It's just a completely random pattern, and after
Yeah, but they change direction when they come to contact that object.
so does this.
Actually not. I've got 2 Roombas, and mine will change direction after they go through the cycle. They'll go through a go right cycle, and they'll follow the wall, right, and then they'll go into, maybe they'll go left for a while, and sometimes they go 45 degrees and bounce into something, and 45 degrees and 45 degrees. But they change modes, and you can tell.
If this hits something or something, if it gets to the line sensor, the fence, it'll turn and do something else.
Okay, it changes mode when
Yeah.
it hits something.
Yeah,
The Roombas don't. Well, my old Roombas don't.
mine do.
Do they?
Yeah.
They change mode when it hits something? Oh, okay.
All mine do. You've got really weird Roombas.
How many do you have?
I am up to 46 Roombas, I think. I just was given another one.
See what I'm saying? I got 2. Okay.
On my YouTube page, I have a ton of pictures and videos of this robot actually doing something. I've got the Roombas doing stuff.
Suppose you put 2 of them out there. You cut twice as fast. You haven't tried that.
I don't have to. I would try that if I had to.
Maybe you come back later and find 3 or 4.
I don't.
Spot there to keep running into each other. It's like mathematical art.
The new 3D printer is an XYZ printer, and it was $500, and it's a closed source printer, but I'm finding that it's more open than what the manufacturer wants it to be. It runs G code just like, even though their software doesn't say it. When you watch it go across the serial port, it's G code that it's sending down to it.
So for us newbies, how hard would it be for you to show us a simple, basic something of how to program Arduino to do something?
Our original
'Cause
club,
I've never seen that.
when we originally started getting into micros, we did the series by Jeremy Bloom,
Let me go.
and he has a whole series of learning things.
I'm going to go into
Very
Windows
nice.
because Windows just is driving me crazy.
If you want to start, just
Notice.
blink the light. You do that in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You load it and run it. And it blinks the light.
These, if you go to the website, you'll notice that there is a notes page, and you go to that website, and there is a spreadsheet. It says electronic links, and one of the tabs is the Arduino. And if you click the Arduino tab, you'll see all of Jeremy Bloom's lessons.
Yeah, Jeremy, he's also got his own website.
Now, he's since graduated and is now out on his own. He's got his book out.
It's a really good book if you want to learn how to
It's
do it.
basically documenting these videos. It's pretty much what I say.
So he's got a whole series of videos out there. And he started it when he was a junior in high school or a sophomore in high school.
I don't
Something
know.
like that.
It's hilarious because we're going to watch this Arduino training session, and we bring him up and we play him, and he's sitting in his bedroom by his closet, and it was hilarious. But his stuff is good, and we learned a lot.
And he's, what, at MIT?
I don't know.
I think that's the school he's studying electrical engineering at. He's a bright kid.
I'm going to boot up Linux
Oh,
because
okay. You're going home. Huh?
Windows is driving me crazy.
Well, there's plenty of that you can join in that endeavor.
I actually use a website called codebender.cc, and it's an online Arduino IDE. It's very, very similar to the IDE software.
Did you say code what?
Codebender. But yeah, we can load up some code. We can look at some code. We could at least blink some lights.
Have you seen the board?
Yeah.
And the Uno, if you haven't bought one yet, probably good to start with the Uno. Because it works. I mixed up.
Micro Centers got them. They're pretty reasonably priced.
If you buy the Micro Center brand, it's like $10.
Get the one from eBay, they'll also give you a cable. Those USB cables you bought from Radio Shack cost more than the Arduino.
The unit itself.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy Bloom, he's got a parts website too that describes all the parts you need to go through his book. And he recommends where to buy them at the three major places like Adafruit and what's the other two? Newmark.
Spark Farm.
Newark 14.
Element 14.
Element 14.
That was the original. His original videos pointed you mostly to Element 14.
Yeah, but he's got a list that's got like 3 different suppliers.
Oh, okay.
And stuff.
Yeah, you see the links on his videos are starting to dry out a bit. But very good tutorial. He starts out with the hardware, which is good, and describes all the I/O points and the push buttons on it and the lamp on output 13 and all that stuff. And that's good to see that.
There's also a website, correct me if I'm wrong, Leroy, you probably know it better than I do, ittech.com. And you can download free PDFs of the major Arduino books and programming books. I mean, it's amazing what they got out there, and I don't understand how they didn't buy the copyright. You know, it's associated with some school, I think. But, so I've avoided buying some of the books because you can find them. You can't get Jeremy's book there.
Will it be a .edu or
John?
will it be a .edu?
I think so.
We got the resistor packs if you guys need resistors. And some 8555 op amps, 741 op amps, or lookalikes, all kinds of
It's
stuff.
all PDF form. I put it on my iPad.
It's very, very C-like. So let's see. We need to do, what do we need to do?
Do they have those sample programs out there on this code?
Yeah, you know they do.
Not a Hello World's
Basics. Linky sketch.
Sketch. The magic. Start anything from there.
So it sets your LED pin to 13, which is the onboard LED, and your pin mode to output, and then it's just going to set the pin to a high and wait for a second, and set the pin to a low and wait for a second, and repeat the cycle over and over.
One thing that shocked me right off, because I came from the PLC world, and you have input modules and you have output modules. Here, it can be an input or output, and they actually switch back and forth dynamically, which I found bizarre. You can switch back and forth on the discrete
One
side.
neat thing about it, which I didn't really see, actually I didn't really see until I started coming here.
That's one that
But
blinks on
the
board.
actual pin numbers match up with the pin in code.
Oh,
So,
that's nice.
Pin 13, pin 13 also is connected to an internal. But that's not as straightforward in BeagleBone. You have to do some mapping. But with the Arduino, you can
Something
expect
very strange is
one
happening.
on a pin, say pin 14, or you put a 0 on it, you expect a 0.
The Arduino is basically a control type device. Its main purpose is control. If you want to do voice recognition on Arduino, what do you think, Frank? Is it going to work?
It'll work.
It'll work? Okay. Not sophisticated. It's kind of slow.
It's slow, but just basic things, you'll be able to do it. If you start to want to use a lot of horsepower and need a lot of memory and stuff like that, you're going to have to upgrade anyway. But if you're trying to learn how to do it, this is actually the best place. One of the things I'm learning with BeagleBone is even though they say you can do all of this stuff, a lot of times you have to jump through some hoops. It's got a lot more power. Arduino is really simple.
Very little memory, not a lot of memory on the Arduino. What is it? A meg or two, maybe?
32K.
What?
2K.
2K?
32 carries.
So it's very efficient. It's like a PLC. Very
Little
efficient.
orange light.
Control.
Just sits there and
That's the,
Now, that one has
That's
to be
pin
connected
13.
to pin 13. If you connect to something else to pin 13, it would react the same way.
my ray gun's back. Don't mess with me.
Brian did a demo a few weeks ago using the Arduino as a video driver. No, that was a Propeller one. Propeller, how much memory does it have?
Like, wait, do you mean like as in RAM? or storage?
RAM, yeah.
I think around 32 kilobytes.
32 kilobytes?
It's-
Okay.
I thought it was more than there.
Okay, so you plugged it into pin 13.
Yeah. Get a brighter light.
And if I blow up my cheap LED, I blow up my cheap LED.
This is one of
But
the
that's
idiosyncrasies.
that's the very
You'll light them up.
yeah. I'll blow up
You
LEDs.
can also run, that thing you can use it, you can run it at 9 volts input power, or probably up to 12. And I don't think you can do that with BeagleBone.
got
It's
built-in voltage
it's 5
regulator.
volts. BeagleBone's very picky about the voltage.
isn't there a new Arduino out with a bigger processor? And, I'm sorry,
You Arduino Uno.
so,
That we've got.
That may even be
Arduino's
another
got a line of.
but I thought this is a brand new one. They're gonna use a different processor and everything else. They announced it a couple months ago.
But I know
Here's-
that the Uno is out, which is closer to the BeagleBone. It's not the BeagleBone, it's not
And then I saw where Intel's got one.
Galileo. I was going to ask Leroy why he bought the Galileo.
I bought it because it was cheap.
But it doesn't beat the BeagleBone. I was trying to convince myself to get one. I saw your note out there, and I was saying I should get one of these. And I said,
$36 for an $80 board. It seemed like a good deal. So
It was a good deal, but if I was going to get one, I'd probably get another. Right now, I'd probably get another BeagleBone.
Is this a proprietary code language?
No,
It's obviously not C.
it's C-like.
It's close enough to C. If you know C, then this is.
It's C-like. I didn't say it was C.
It's not C. I don't see any pointers and that kind of stuff in there. It's not C. It might be like Java or C#, but it's not C.
You don't have to always use pointers with C. You want to be efficient and all that kind of stuff. This thing's got a real simple compiler, and you can do simple stuff.
It's based
syntax.
it's based on a
But it has its own library, basically.
yeah.
Okay.
Basically, if you know C though, you should be able to move into this pretty easy because
Yeah, I mean, this looks
it's very
very straightforward.
similar, very
And that's the upside. It's very straightforward.
yeah.
Looks more like Java than it does
Until you start getting into some of the more advanced stuff. But this sketch here, we really can't do a whole lot with it because I've only got the one resistor. It reads an analog voltage across the 5 analog ports, and it will open a serial port up and report back on the screen whatever the voltage is. So it's looking at analog 0.
I did an X10 kind of thing with this, where the Arduino through a transmitter reads whether water is present or not present, and it will give you a readout that says the pump is running or the pump is not running. And it really wasn't a lot of code. Of course, after I did that, usually when you do these things, you decide there's a better way.
One of the big differences between the Arduino and the Raspberry and the BeagleBone is the Arduino doesn't have a display. You're programming it from a PC,
Right.
and there is no display. And there's RS-232 out, which you can actually easily get back to the PC through the USB port and display stuff. In fact, the software came from a graphically oriented program that somebody modified to work with the Arduino. And so the original code was called Processor, and you can find it out there. And it's continued to grow too. And you can interface to the processor if you want to do graphics and displays and things like that. You can use the Arduino, and on the PC use Processor. And in fact, Jerry Bloom does some of that.
And
Display
it
temperature. And
was also based on something called wiring, which is another programming language. So I've got 3 volts, 3.28 volts, and if I take it off, I've got 2 volts.
And this is just pumping serial stuff back up to the PC, and it has a monitor software.
Now I got 5 volts sitting on my analog pin. I've got essentially no volts.
So you're using this CodeBender IDE. Are there other like IDEs?
There's the official IDE, which is actually software.
Okay.
It's Java based, so it runs on everything. I like CodeBender because I can save my sketches online and any computer I'm
Up anywhere.
working on.
The Arduino support, Arduino.cc is the home, and they have their own IDE if you want to run that.
That's the official IDE.
Yeah. Starting out, probably the best thing to start with.
I can't really do a whole lot of examples. I didn't bring a whole lot of stuff.
Okay. Well, that's good. Anybody have any questions? Anything else? Any questions?
This program is made up of that.
We remain adjourned. We are adjourned.
Okay, I want to say something else. I'm getting ready to start.
No, Frank.
I'm getting ready to start my computer camp. I'm going to be recruiting some folks. I'm going to recruit you to do what you did last year. Recruit